family completely destroyed over, it sounds like 3 or 4 kids. You know, they got into an argument. Somebody's got a gun. Next thing you know, this dad of 4 dead.
Another father who will not be there for his children. I got to tell you, Steve, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, said we cannot be demonizing kids. But what we come to find out is many of these shooters are teenage age.
Right.
They grew up in a generation where accountability doesn't exist. Soft on crime policies like, oh, you can steal up to $750 worth of items. Nothing happens to you. We're going to eliminate cash bail. You commit a crime, get right out, or don't get caught at all. George Soros and his soft on crime prosecutors created this environment, these progressive prosecutors and elected officials who said, look, we're going to call this criminal justice reform, when in fact it's justice for the criminal. We need to make this stop. And that's exactly why I'm here today on the 2-year mark of my brother's murder, because I've had enough. I cannot lose any more family members, and I don't want to see anyone else lose anyone. So this is a mission that's now on my shoulders because I have no choice. Simply put, I have no choice, Steve.
We thank you for coming. We know today is an emotional day for you. It's hard to believe it was 2 years ago. I remember the story. It was a Fox News alert that this had happened. Your family, your grandmother has finally agreed to leave Chicago. You left Chicago over 10 years ago.
Yes, yes.
But your brother, he would have been, what, 19 years old?
19. He would have been 19, and I was blessed to be in Chicago over the weekend to be with my family. And my grandmother finally agreed to allow me to move her out of Chicago, which I have one younger brother that's still there. So that means he gets to move too because he's been taking care of her. But the truth of the matter is this is not about my brother anymore. That's what it started off, but it's no longer about him. It's about the thousands of other people who've lost their lives as well. It's about the people that we can potentially save. And that's why with my own money, tens of thousands of dollars I put in to create the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety, because I am tired, I am upset. Every day we're covering another story about someone being killed, some innocent person being killed. And that needs to change. That needs to change. So I'm putting forth effort. I'm working with Attorney General Pam Bondi, Dr. Drew Pinsky, who's put together a manual with my cousin, Dr. Hines, on mental health. People can go to the website, caldwellinstitute.org. You can learn how to pitch a story to the press if one of your family members have been murdered. You can learn how to work with the police and prosecutors, because I got Joel Fitzgerald, who's the current police chief now. His son was that Temple University police officer who was murdered, and the soft on crime prosecutor, Larry Krasner, has been slow walking the case to ensure that the suspect doesn't get the death penalty. Him and Dan Kirk, a former prosecutor in the Cook County prosecutor's office, put together a manual on how to work with the police. So this is doing 2 things: victim services and also going after soft on crime prosecutors with messaging and lobbying against legislation that makes communities more lawless and dangerous, and certainly advancing legislation that makes communities safer. That's what the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety intent and mission is.
You have put together a little video.
Yes.
Folks can find it on social media to find out, to watch it.
Caldwellinstitute.org. You can see the full video there. We need your support.
We're going to play just a little bit. Watch this.
I gathered a vast team of experts, visionaries, and game changers, and created the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety. On June 24th, 2022, my life changed forever when my innocent baby brother, Christian, was murdered on the streets of Chicago. Christian was 18 and excited about starting college. But on that terrible day, he became just one more of those 16,000 murdered across the United States that same year. Help support the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety. Go to caldwellinstitute.org.
The fact that you say, and it started with your brother.
Yes.
But now you have made it bigger than your brother, and you're trying to help other families who have broken hearts, just like your family does. And it's a shame that 2 years later we still don't know exactly who killed your brother.
And you know, I got to tell you, every age, every race, every income bracket has been affected. This is not just about the South Side of Chicago. This is not about just black on black crime. This is about millions of Americans who fear crime. Polling has shown us that. We've seen the numbers. We've seen cities withhold data to the FBI just to paint a picture that crime isn't a big issue, when everybody knows you can go outside of this studio and something could happen to you. God forbid, but something could. We have to change the trajectory, and conservatives have been talking about George Soros and the millions that he's put forth for these candidates, but we haven't had a solution. Here's your solution. Go to caldwellinstitute.org. Support us. Support us. Go to all of my socials at Gianno Caldwell. Look at the video. Share the video with all of your friends on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Let's save America together.
Beautifully said.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you for
And thank you for my
joining
Fox
us.
and Friends family.
We love you.
I love you back.
His brother would be 19 years old today if you were alive. Rest in peace, Christian. We'll be right back.